Hello, everybody. Today, let's multiply and simplify the rational expression, which is x squared minus 4 all over x squared minus 64 times x squared minus 6x minus 16 all over x squared plus 2x minus 8. Before we multiply this, we can simplify first. And to simplify, we have to factor each of these polynomials. Factoring is not an easy thing, so let's use the symbollab.com website to facilitate this process. All right, here it is. All right, so let's factor the first polynomial, which is x squared minus 4. So we'll just enter in factor x squared minus 4. Let's see what it gives us. Click on go. And it tells us x plus 2 in parentheses times x minus 2 in parentheses. So literally, x squared minus 4 is what's called a difference of perfect squares. And if you have a difference of perfect squares, it always factors into a binomial. The first term is x squared, and so we'll put x and x in each of the two binomials because x times x is x squared. Now we have to think of what squared is 4. What number squared is 4? That would be 2. So we'll put a 2 here and another 2 here, and one factor gets a minus, one factor gets a plus. All right, now let's move on to x squared minus 64. This is also a difference of perfect squares. So we have x and x over here. 64 is a perfect square because square root of 64 is a whole number, which is 8. And so we'll put a minus 8 here and a plus 8 right there. And if in doubt, just go to symbollab.com and enter in x squared minus 64. The next one is x squared minus 6x minus 16. Now, here we have three terms, which are x squared, negative 6x, and negative 16. So remember, terms are things connected by a plus sign. So literally, this is x squared plus negative 6x plus negative 16. And notice that x squared, negative 6x, and negative 16 are connected all by a plus sign. So that means x squared is a term, negative 6x is a term, and negative 16 is a term. So we have three terms, which makes x squared minus 6x minus 16 be a trinomial. Trinomials are not so easy to factor. So again, let's go to symbollab.com and see what it is. It tells us x plus 2 in parentheses times x minus a in parentheses. So let's put that. X plus 2 in parentheses times x minus a in parentheses. All right, now here's the deal. Whenever you have a trinomial where 1 is the coefficient of x squared. So what you want to do is you want to look for two numbers that add to negative 6, which is the coefficient of x. And at the same time, we need two numbers that multiply to negative 16. Okay, so in general, look for two numbers that add up. Look for two numbers that add up to the coefficient of x, and look for the same two numbers that multiply to the coefficient term. So in this case, we need two numbers that add up to negative 6 and multiply to negative 16. And those numbers happen to be 2 and negative 8, because 2 plus negative 8 is negative 6, and 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. So that's why we have those two numbers there. All right, so now for this last one, we need to find out two numbers that add to 2 but at the same time multiply to -8. Now, if you know what they are, then you can put them in. If not, well, we can go to symbollab.com and it could tell us. So let's do that. Any ideas what they are? Do you have any ideas? Maybe you'll maybe you'll think of them now while I put this in. All right, we have x minus 2 times x plus 4. Did you think of those two numbers? Let's see. -2 plus 4 is 2, yes. And -2 times 4 is -8, which is what we want. So those are the right factors. All right, we're done with factoring. All we do is just cancel out factors. So let's see. We have a factor of x minus 2 in the top and a factor of x minus 2 in the bottom. So those will go away. We have a factor of x plus 2, but there's no factor of x plus 2 at the bottom. So we can't cancel out this x plus 2. And likewise, this x plus 2 is left uncanceled. So now we go to the next factor, which is x minus 8. There is an x minus 8 factor in the bottom, so they go with each other. And so I like to think of factors as single people, and single people can go out with each other and have a nice time. And so we have x plus 8 in the top, x minus 8 in the bottom. Hey, they're single. Hey, hook them up. They'll have a wonderful time. Okay. Now we have an x plus 8 here at the bottom. Will this x plus 8 get lucky tonight? Well, let's see. There's no x plus 8 in the top, so unfortunately, x plus 8 has to wait for another time. And same thing, x plus 4. No other x plus 4 at the top to have a date with, and so they'll just have to wait for the next time. All right. So now what's left? We just multiply it all out. So x plus 2 times x plus 2. Let's put this here, and we'll multiply in the next step. At the bottom, we have x plus 8, x plus 4. All right, now we'll just multiply it out. All right, so x times x is x squared. Remember to multiply polynomials, we multiply each term in one polynomial times each term in the other polynomial. So x times x is x squared. We have x times 2, which is a plus 2x. Then we have this 2 times this x, which is another 2x. So plus 2x. And then we have a 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's plus 4. And then put all over. And then now we want to multiply x plus 8 in parentheses times x plus 4 in parentheses. So that'll be x times x. X times x, once again, is x squared. X times 4, which is a plus 4x. We have another 8 times x, which is 8x. Plus, and then we have 8 times 4, which is the very gorgeous number of 32. All right, now we'll just combine like terms. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 2x is 4x, and then plus 4. That's going to be all over x squared plus 4x plus 8x is 12x plus 32. And that's as simplified as it can get because we canceled all the factors. All right, now you may notice that there's another problem here that we can do, but we'll do that in the next video. So in the meantime, I hope that helps in multiplying two rational expressions.